Hello, everyone. My name is Raven, and welcome to Raven Gaming Labs, and welcome back to my medieval wall tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're going to be making more pieces and more sections. One thing I do want to point out really quick is I adjusted the rock foundation dim. I set the opacity to 80. I feel like it looks a little bit better. It's not as dark. But, to each their own. Do anything you like. You can make it brighter if you wish. And also, yes, I did set up Blender 2.79 so we can actually look at this, what it would look like with Phong shading and whatnot, since this is older style textures. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a crisscross pattern. And so I'm going to grab the wood beam on the bottom and I'm going to duplicate it. And I don't know, I'll just call this angled. Not really sure what else to call it. I also want to do a Shift A because I already had the dim selected. And then I'm just going to drag this up and I'm going to grab the rotate tool, which you can click this icon here. It's to the right of the crop tool. And then you get all these lovely options, or you can do a Shift R. And I'm going to set this to, let's say 45, maybe 40. 40 seems good. And for the interpolation, I'm going to set it to no halo. Actually, hang on. Before I do that, I'm going to duplicate another layer, and I'm just going to move that down and hide it for a second. Okay. So let's put that at 40, and we'll just say rotate, and we will now just move this down. Don't be bothered if, it's displaying over top of the bottom wood beam. We will fix that in a moment. So now that we have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do layers, transform, and I'm going to say flip horizontally. I think. No, actually, let's just leave it like that. Let's do a flip vertically instead. I'm trying to get the wood grain to be a little different than normal. And we'll also rotate this one for 40. Okay, and now we have both of them. So I'm just going to hit M. And now what I'm going to do is just zoom in here. And pretty much what we want to do is just line this up. Now, I'm going to undo that really quick. Grab this again. Let's try maybe 45-degree angle. Or maybe 37. Let's try 37. I'm trying to get it to be a specific way. And as I mentioned in the last video, you might have to play around with it a little bit in order to get what you want. It's just part of the process. Let's do 37. That's much better. Okay. And you may have to do some blurring and tidying and whatnot to, get this to kind of blend together. But as long as it lines up okay, you should be good. Okay. That actually seems like that lines up pretty good. So I'm just going to do a merge down. And then I'm going to do a right click alpha. Actually, hang on. I'm going to move this around until I kind of get it to where I want it to be. I'm let's just try to line this part up like so. Awesome. Okay. So now that we have our crisscross pattern there, we do have a little bit, and you could use the clone tool and you can kind of see where it sort of blends. We'll try to fix that with a bit of blurring. But well, we'll just leave it like that. So now what we need to do is you'll notice that we do have some shading issues here. And if we were to put the wood beam, that would look like the wood beam is behind. And so I'm trying to figure out what would actually be the best way to do this. I actually think perhaps just putting it at the top and then grabbing the wood beam, doing an alpha to selection, selecting our wood beam layer, and then hitting delete. And then for the wood beam right, alpha to selection, select our angled wood beam, deleting that. Select the bottom wood beam, select that, and delete. And now it's very much tied to it, but you notice that you don't have the shadowing coming up over top of it. And so it actually looks like it's there, so to speak. It's not behind anything. And now what we need to do is we need to grab this and we'll do a duplicate layer, merge down, and then we'll do an alpha to selection. We will select it and grow it by 10. I noticed that there's still some pieces, but that's okay. Actually, one thing we could do before that is we can do a layer and then we can do crop to content. Oh, of course it is. So we'll just do crop to selection. There we go. And then we'll right click our angled here and we'll say layer to image size. I'm also going to fix this, because it's going to drive me crazy. All right. There we go. So now we can do an alpha to selection. We'll do select, grow it by 10, select feather. We'll do feather by 30. And then we will grab it and then we'll just paste it. You know what helps if we do a foreground fill? Make sure to want a foreground fill of the brown there. And there you go. So now what we need to do is, I think I'll put this, we'll put this all the way down here at the bottom. Okay, and you do get a bit of, how do you say, you do get a little bit of, added depth when it comes to these darker corners, which is kind of fine. So just to kind of see what this looks like here, we will do a Control-Shift-E, and I will do and we'll just say angled 1. We'll just kind of have to remember what is what. And so I'll grab this middle one here. And actually, hang on. We're going to need to make a all new material. So I'm just going to click new. For those of you that are using modern Blender, you don't really have to worry about this. You can kind of just, let's see, textures, and then where's it at? And then I'll resume talking. There it is. Okay, so for those of you that are using, modern textures, so to speak, sorry, not modern textures, modern Blender, you saw it in the previous video, but in this old build of Blender, it's a little different. So I'm just going to scroll down to here and set the influences right. So that actually looks pretty good. It looks like you have a bit of an angle there and it's going down. It's not too bad. We'll definitely need to make some inside textures for sure. And I actually think, yeah, so I'm using 90. All right, so we need to set this to multiply. And then 90. And again, if you wanted to, you could clean this up. But one thing I do like about the old Blender is there's a nice little refresh button. There we go. So that's a lot better. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to recreate this again, but in the other direction. And normally it'd be like, well, we could just flip it, but we could flip it, but we're not going to. And the reason for that is A, we've already cropped all of this to be, rather exact. So we can't have that. So we're going to have to do open recent, and then we're going to grab, actually, whoops. Let's save this, and we'll save it as -angled1. Okay, and we will just now do a file open, and we will grab this. And now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to do it in reverse. So we're just going to duplicate the layer, call it angled. We'll do Control-Shift-A to get that unselected. Whoops. I can't remember what we did. I think it was 40. Well, we're going to find out. Yeah, 40 seems fine. None of this stuff has to be exactly exact. That is something that will actually kind of help it feels more real. And again, we're just going to duplicate it. And you want to make sure it's lined up there properly. And now we'll just duplicate it down, and pretty much exactly like last time. We're just gonna, and again, you know, if you need to rotate it, rotate it. That'll work. Okay, and same as before. We're just gonna right click, alpha to selection, select our wood beam, and we're just gonna press that good old delete button right there. And then we're going to grab our right wood beam, right click, make sure we select our angled, and we're just going to delete that just on the off chance. And we're going to grab our left, and then we're going to grab the angled. And guess what? We're going to delete that too. We're just going to make sure that everything is all nice and deleted. Perfect. And we'll put it up there at the top. And now what we're going to do is right click, and we're going to do alpha to selection. Okay. We are missing a little bit down there, but that's okay. We're going to grab our rock foundation here, and we'll select our wood beam, and we'll just delete it. No big deal. And we'll do alpha to selection. Everything seems fine. And we'll just duplicate the layer, drag it underneath, and we'll just do shadow. And then we'll do select, grow 10, select, feather 30, and we'll just paste it in there. And then we'll do a Control-Shift-A so that nothing is selected. And as always, we'll drag this way down here at the bottom so that it hides. We'll set it to multiply, and then we'll set the opacity to 90. We do get a little bit of a blur around there. And again, you could clean this up. You could, yeah, like if you really wanted to clean this up, you could grab the right shadow, alpha to selection, and then you could grab, your wood beam, and you could press delete. And how does that actually look? I actually kind of like that. That actually looks kind of nice. I might actually do that. So let's do alpha to selection, and then we'll grab our wood beam, press delete. Where's the bottom one? Oh, it's right in front of me. That's why I can't find it. Yeah, that's a lot more consistent. Okay, and we're just going to save this. We're going to save it as angled 2. And then we are going to export it as well. Did that overwrite? No. Okay, good. And we'll just do a good old export. And I'm going to grab this one here, and we're just going to create a whole new material for it. I know I could just, hit the new material button, but I have elected to not do that. Turn all of this off so it doesn't mess with some things when I assign the specularity. That looks pretty good. And as you can see, that this does not look nearly as nice. So what we're going to do is we're just going to select this material here. We're going to go back into Gimp, File, Open, Recent, Angled 1. And we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing. We're going to do alpha to selection, select it, delete. Same thing for this. Select it, delete. And then we'll grab the bottom one, alpha to selection, grab this, and delete. I'll also put this over top, not that it matters at the moment. Control Shift A, Control Shift S. We'll save and overwrite. And Control E. And we'll export. And export. And now we will do a refresh. There we go. That looks much better. Okay, so now we have ourselves some angled bottom textures, and in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to work on the next part. I know I said we were going to do it in this one, but we've already run about 16 minutes just creating these two, but we're getting somewhere. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you run into any problems or issues, be sure to join the Discord. Or if you have any suggestions on any other future tutorials, definitely do send me a message. Discord's the best place to do it, but you can also do it through the YouTube comments if you prefer. And as always, if you subscribe, be sure to actually hit that bell so you actually do get updates on this. And if you'd like to support this channel, get early access to videos, a members only area in Discord, and other goodies, there is a join button down below, as well as a link in the description. And I will see you all in the next one. You guys have a good one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching Raven Gaming Labs. Thanks to all the members and viewers who make RGL possible. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so that you can be notified. If you want to become a member, hit the join button or link in the description below. Members get early access to videos, member exclusive content, and more. As well, don't forget to join our awesome community over at Discord. Y'all have a good one.